Alright lads, so Bleach Origins is the newest Bleach game that is going on a global release November 21st. The game is almost here, and right now we have access to the closed beta test, our final beta test, before the game does release next month. And this for the most part pretty much serves as our first look at the global version of the game. So in today's video we're going to have a look at some gameplay, some of the changes they made since the last beta test, and of course some summons. And let's be honest, we all love summoning when it comes to gacha games, and right now I have quite a decent amount of summons saved up. We're going to do like a multi or two on the limited time Bankai Ichigo banner. But right now we have also a lot of summons when it comes to the default banner. Now I'm very happy to say that when this game does release next month, the gacha system is by far, at least from what I've seen, one of the best. We kind of saw that last time during the previous beta test, but pretty much the character drop rate is 1.84%. That is abnormally high for an SSR, but if you do get an SSR when summoning for Bankai Ichigo, for example, it's pretty much guaranteed to be him. If you do get unlucky, you get the character guaranteed in 8 multis. And then when it comes to the weapon banner, it's also very similar, where the weapon stamp itself has a 3% drop rate, and you are guaranteed in 4 multis. One of the best parts that you might not know about if you haven't been following the game is that originally you had to summon for 3 items. The character, the weapon stamp, and then another item. And that other item has pretty much now been moved into a free-to-play farming item. So no longer do you have to spend more summons, have to summon for 3 individual things for 1 character. I thought that was quite excessive. And right now it's in line with other gacha games where you pull for the weapon and the character. Throughout the beta test, which hopefully should reflect the official launch too, we've gotten a lot of summons that we can do on the main banner, which does include Sajin, Kaname, Kisuke, Yoruichi, Ikaku, and also Byakuya. We're guaranteed an SSR in 5 multis, so let's go ahead and do it. What character do I want the most? I'm not entirely too sure. I would love to see Byakuya, Kisuke, for example, or of course Yoruichi. Now what you're going to see there is, unfortunately, because we did not get a visored Ichigo animation, it means no SSR in this particular summon. They've also changed the animation a little bit. Before you could actually swipe to do the actual summon, now it's just an animation. Regardless though, multi number 2, let's see it. Can we see the animation with the visored? No visored animation, unfortunately. But can I get some good SRs? Because there are some decent SRs there. We did get an Ururu, that's okay. Not entirely what I want, but I guess Rukia dupes, or I guess Rukia, I don't have her actually at all, would be nice, and some Yachiru dupes would be great too. Again, really love the summon animation, by the way, taken right out of episode 1 of 1000 Year Blood War. I've always wanted something like that when it came to summon animations in a Bleach game, and I think it's the perfect Getsuga to reference for a summon animation, and I would love to see how it's going to change. Damn! Okay, Namu. I would love to see how it's going to change in the future, because right now, again, the only other iteration is Visored Ichigo, but, you know, imagine a Full Holo animation. Imagine a Mugetsu animation. Imagine True Shikai whenever we get, you know, Blood War characters. Stuff like that would be cool. So, unfortunately, we seem to have to go all the way to the 5th multi to get our guaranteed SSR. That's fine. So, we should see the Visored Ichigo animation here. I saw some yellow little glitter. Okay, we got the Visored. Let's go! Okay, here we go. Here we go. I've yet to play. Oh! Oh! Okay, we got Kisuke. Unironically, that's actually the best thing we could have got. So we got it straight away too. Animations are crazy. You can expect something like that for every SSR character. Now, I've yet to get a 2-in-1, so would love to get a 2-in-1 here. Doesn't seem like it, but getting Kisuke right now is actually really good. Because right now, he's going to be one of the go-to SSRs that you're going to want to get when the game releases next month, as he is pretty much like the best support. So that's pretty much best case scenario. So once you do your 5 free multis, or discounted multis, and you get the guaranteed SSR, you can continue summoning on this banner. Likewise, you can go into this particular banner and select another character. So in my case, since we got Kisuke, let's go ahead and select Byakuya, and now strictly hunt for him. I could continue summon on this, but I'm not guaranteed a character for like another 70 summons, and it could be any other character. Again, any of these 6. I'm only next going to be guaranteed Byakuya when I do 300 summons, which the game actually lets you do from all the summon currency that you can get in this game. So I'm just going to go for this target banner where we now strictly have Byakuya as the rate up. So I think if we do get a SSR here, I believe it is Byakuya. I'm pretty sure that's how it works. So it seems like I already can tell what the animation's going to look like in terms of what you want to look out for when it comes to an SSR. I believe Ichigo can start off with the mask, or you want to see the It's kind of hard to say. The black Getsugo aura kind of has like a orange outline. And that's going to be the indicator for like a brief second before you see it that you're going to get a fake out into Visored Ichigo. Again, the rate should be 1.8%, right? It is. I would assume that this means that I'm guaranteed. Maybe I'm only guaranteed Byakuya on the 80th summon. But on the way there, I could potentially walk away with another SSR. Because it doesn't seem to be any different. But we're just going to keep going through. Going SR there. We haven't been getting too many characters. Having said that, we just got 3 Urus. Okay, still no Rukia though. We have 2 multis to go. It's kind of fine that we are getting non-SSR multis, because hopefully when we do jump into the, limited time Bankai Ichigo summon, we can actually get, because we can only do like 1 or 2 multis. It'd be great if we can actually get the SSR there, because now pretty much we can guaranteed Ichigo. Unfortunately, man, the luck has not been too good. The luck has not been too good. Besides the fact that we got Kisuke, not been getting too many great stuff here. Just a bunch of stamps. And that is pretty much us done with the summons. Hold on, we definitely can go into the shop real quick and buy some. So after doing all the summons, we do have quite a few things that we can buy. So we can buy 3 limited time tickets. These are for the default banner. We can also get some weapon summons, because we'll do those in a minute. That's for both limited and also default banner. And then personally, one actual great change that we have seen is that you can actually now buy duplicates of the default characters, assuming you own the character. So when the game launches, it might be wise to save those up so you can eventually max dupe your, potential favorite unit. For me though, for the sake of the video, we are just going to buy some limited time summons. Unfortunately on this banner though, it's only multis, so we can't entirely do that. But we do have the summons here. These are for the weapons. We just got Kisuke, so let's go ahead and select Kisuke with a multi here. 3% rate. Can we get an SSR? Doesn't seem like it. Unfortunately not. Let's just skip it. Can we get anything decent? We got an SR there. Cool. So I guess in this case, we can at the very least do 2 summons, 2 multis on the limited time Bankai Ichigo. This is the time we want to get lucky. Can we get lucky? Doesn't seem like it for multi number 1. We might have to go all the way to pity. Because even though the rates are relatively high, I mean, the individual rate is not the highest, 1.8% for an SSR. But if we do get the SSR, it is Ichigo. And we did get a dupe of Yatsu. That's actually pretty good. Gladly take that. 1.6k for a multi. This is pretty much our last multi for the day. Doesn't seem like it. No Visored Ichigo. Unfortunately. But we actually can do 1 more multi. Can we get Bankai Ichigo? Let's go. Multi number 3. I saw, nah, never mind. Never mind. For some reason, at least when it comes to the summon animation, even when you get shafted, it still feels pretty cool watching the summon animation. So, we are getting Yatsu dupes, which is nice, but we're pretty much out cold right now. I guess we can do some summons here. Doubt we're going to get anything on the singles. Doesn't seem like it. But at least I got Kisuke. Kisuke's going to be still a real good addition to my account. Because Kisuke in particular is a really good support unit. And it's great in a way that I can finally actually read what the character does do. The last couple of so beta tests have been in Chinese. So let's actually go over some of the changes that have been made regarding characters right now. One thing that I'm hoping to see change, which seems to be likely, is the character artwork. It's kind of crazy to say that because the game is releasing a month from now, but the artwork is a bit inconsistent. Some characters have really good artwork that do resemble 1000 Year Blood War, and then some characters don't quite have that Blood War art style, So the biggest change they made is in regard to the stamp system, which is going to be the accessory gear system that most gacha games do have. Before, it used to look something like this, which I think was a bit too confusing for what it's supposed to be. Now it's been streamlined a lot, where each character has access to 4 pieces. 3 pieces in particular you can farm. So let's say, for example, I wanted to go with this particular set. If I use 3 of the pieces, I'll get 16% attack boost, and then an additional boost every 15 seconds. And then this big piece here used to be an item you had to summon for. So again, like I mentioned at the start, there was 3 items to summon for. Now this 3rd item is just completely free to play. So now that I have Kisuke, for example, it would be in this particular quest right here. You can get lucky as you play the quest multiple times to maybe get the item. But if you do get unlucky but play the quest multiple times, eventually you're just guaranteed it. So, for example, I want to get this particular piece. So every character, when they do release, on the game's release and, future character releases, are all going to have designated pieces just pretty much designed for them. This piece, for example, is specifically for Bankai Ichigo. But it does seem like there are, every character pieces, which is actually pretty cool. So every character can actually get a really cool, unique effect. So this stamp would just be good for any character that does have a battlefield skill. But honestly, I really like the idea of turning something that I, always had a gripe with in the gadget system, having to pull for free items, including the character, and then now they kind of just turned it into content. I think it's actually a pretty smart idea. All right, so here we go. So right now we're using Yatru. If we use a skill and then instantly switch into another character, we do actually get a damage buff, because Yatru she just sits there in the side watching you. It's actually kind of cool. So this is one of the new areas, because the game is just about to reach into the Wake of Mundo arc. It does, of course, cover the Soul Society arc. Let's use the key scale. That did actually see a little animation upgrade. And let's go back to Ichigo. Ichigo right now is my main damage dealer. And the other two characters that we are currently using, Kisuke and Yatru, are pretty much just there for us to deal more damage. Unfortunately, that was an opportunity for us to parry. Wasn't quite able to do that. But right now, this quest is on the longer side. It usually does take like a minute or two. But it can potentially give us some really good items. So first up, we will get Shrieker. Wave 3 incoming already. And I'm pretty sure the final boss is going to be Dodoni. But the gameplay feels super smooth. That's always been a thing, though. It's always been relatively smooth. The gameplay hasn't changed too much, in all honesty, which I think is fine. More so, I think they always have to focus on the other parts of the game. Well, there we go. We got Dodoni. So our first look at a Ronka in the game, which is kind of cool. Surprisingly, right now, at least for me in my progress, it is Dodoni. But I'm pretty sure Luffy and Yami appear at certain points, right? When it's story relevant. So let's go and switch to Kisuke. Charge up the attack. Switch to Yatru. Go back to Ichigo. That's one thing that I have seen, by the way. People don't like the characters only have like 2 attacks. But it's fine, in honesty, because every character is kind of designed to switch in and out. That's kind of the core concept of the game's gameplay, right? You never ideally want to stick onto one character. You always be switching in and out to other characters. Let me go. Dodoni goes down. Hidden passage. That's a first for me. Who is this? Okay. I guess that's actually pretty good. Is this a good thing? I think we can actually get a guaranteed drop here. I guess we're going to find out. Seems like we got like an extra quest where we can potentially get an extra reward. Let's go back to Yatru. Use our skill. I want to use our ult when I can. Or our next skill. What is this? Never mind. Okay, I was ready for the parry there, but couldn't quite, unfortunately. Never mind, got it now. There we go. Can we get Yatru's second skill off? There we go. Go back to Kisuke. Get that off, and then go back to Ichigo. Go back to Kisuke once more. Let's ult. That should debuff the enemy, I'm pretty sure. And never mind, it actually kills. Lovely. Oh, we got a rainbow. Okay, is this guaranteed? This is the first for me. I'm still going through the game for the first time. There we go. We actually got a 5-star stamp. You love to see it. And we got... That's actually a good one. That's the one we were just looking at. We actually got 2 in that particular run, so that's actually kind of cool. So these are core stamps that we're going to use on our characters, which right now, most of my characters don't have access to any of these. So each time a technique is dealt, triggers 1 additional attack of the same type, dealing damage equal to 65% of that current technique. That one doesn't sound too good, but this one is pretty good. Anytime we do use a battlefield skill, everyone in the team gets an 8% damage increase. Unfortunately, it's unstackable, but it does last 25 seconds. See, honestly, this is one of my favorite additions to the game that we are going to see on launch. It's going to be something fun to farm as you collect really powerful and must-have items for pretty much all your characters. But there's a lot to do in this game right now that I'm currently progressing through. And the presentation, of course, has improved throughout the game too. So you have all the story. Right now, I'm currently about to start the Kenpachi fight. There's 8 chapters in total during the closed beta test, which is going to last you quite a while. You're probably going to be spending a whole week on this for the most part. Of course, with that, there's also the extra difficulties, then the extreme versions too, where it adds like extra challenges. The supply section is pretty much just the farming section for your character XP, your weapon XP, your skill materials, all the items you're going to need to max out your characters. And the good thing about this is that you only have to do it once, and then you can just always auto-clear whenever you need the items again. The trial section of the game, we did briefly cover the stamp corridor, but these are also items to max out your characters. This is for the passives. These are, again, core items that you are going to need, and then this is going to be where you're pretty much farming gear. One issue I've kind of had with the game was the stamina system, and that's still kind of an issue, but it has been made better. For example, now every time you have max stamina, you're going to have an extra stamina bank that is going to, reserve that stamina that you would have potentially wasted from being at max stamina, which I think is actually really good. And then also this particular quest, again, which is something you're going to be finding yourself playing a lot to, get the perfect items for your characters. They actually do give you 2 free attempts. So there's just been a lot of small changes that, maybe if you haven't been playing the game, you might not realize. But I think you're definitely going to be appreciating it when the game does release. And then we also do have a challenge section, which is going to be, permanent events that you're going to be doing. Like this is pretty much a boss rush that you have to do without dying, which we could go ahead and do. So let's actually try that. So right now, it's pretty much the start. We have to do 3 missions in a row without dying, and that clears the first one. So it should be relatively easy with my team right now, especially with Kisuke on the team. Every character now, I believe, does have an animation. And right now, we have a stage rule where we want to dodge an enemy's attack to actually get 30% more damage. So let's block this. Use our first skill, go back into Ichigo. Damage output right now is looking fine. Only have to clear 3 enemies here. No, I think there's 3 rounds of enemies. So there we go. We got our first dodge. So with that, we now do a bit more damage. Definitely noticeable. The enemy is blocking. That's fine. Skill 1 goes off. We get that extra charge. And then now we have those ranged Getsugas. Really love True Shika Ichigo. Right now, what I've been doing with these beta tests is I haven't been summoning straight away. So right now, we're currently on day 2, maybe 2.5. And I've just been strictly using SRs that the game gives you. SR Ichigo is a whole lot of fun. Obviously, Bankai Ichigo and all the other SSR characters are also really fun characters too. And of course, better. They're going to carry you through the game. But I've been liking just sticking to the SR characters, because I know over time, I'm not going to use the character much. That's always the nature with these games. Over time, you start just sticking to only ever using SSRs. Rarely do you get to use and go back to SRs. So I can get the most out of these particular characters. So that's our first quest done. But we do have to continue on with the amount of HP that we have right now. Fortunately, no one here lost any HP, so we don't seem to be struggling whatsoever. Does this one have any similar stage rules if we dodge? I'm not entirely too sure. But we do guard there, and we actually... Soul Explosion, I think that's what they call it. So there's a lot of range attacks for us to dodge here to potentially get that attack boost. Alright, take this enemy down. Relatively easy. That's only wave 1 though. Skill goes off. Alright, Yatsu just literally watching from afar. It's super funny. I really like Yatsu as a character in this game. It's super funny how they designed her. Let's go back to Yatsu. Go back to Kisuke. I need to use Kisuke more right now. It's a bit awkward switching with controller. Right now, by the way, we are playing with controller. I still need to perfect the controls because right now I have my own personal controls when it comes to using a controller on this game. Really good damage there. Can we block? Unfortunately, wasn't able to quite guard against that. Can we get a dodge again? Nah. That enemy goes down. Block that. Use our Getsuga. And then we'll do some switching in and out. Kisuke go off. We'll get that off twice. Back onto Yachiru. Use the ult. Back into Ichigo. I think we've taken a bit too much damage here, but this is where we do a lot of damage. Or we almost would have killed the enemy there. We were a bit careless there in that particular one. I'm not going to lie. So Ichigo's taking a bit too much damage, but we'll just be careful for this one. So this should be the last quest, and then we're pretty much done. And I think with this, we are going to get 5 summons. So we can actually finish up the video with a multi-summon. Yo, hella attack going at us right now. Let's stick on Kisuke right now for the time being. Build up his ult gauge, which I believe charges relatively fast. Do that. Let's block. There we go. Use our first skill. Go into Kisuke. A lot of enemies right now. Use our skill. And we'll go back to Ichigo again. So right now we need to take care of these small enemies. Dodge. Now we get the attack boost. That should take both of them down together. And now it's just me and Shrika. This should be relatively easy. 16 HP bars here. But I am not worried whatsoever. Get it goes off. Get to use another one. Now we get these extra long range attacks. This is why I love it. The SR Ichigo, the Shikai one. Dodge that again. Let's go to Yachiru. Use her skill. We'll go back to Kisuke. Love the 2 Benihime attacks. And then go back to Ichigo. Dodge. Block. And there we go. Pretty cool. Again, the game's super fun, man. The game is super fun. It's been fun since we've been playing the last basically 2 years, right? And I think that is us now done with the first challenge. So these are really cool. These are really cool. There's a lot to do in this game when it comes to just farming items for your characters and also just fun gameplay stuff, excluding the story mode. And with that, we do get a lot of summons. So, like I said, this, I'm hoping, continues into the game's launch. 300 summons for playing the game is absolutely crazy. This was actually in response to the original beta test where people were saying the game was stingy. So right now, you pretty much have all these ways to earn summon tickets, which I think is really cool. And hopefully, again, it is going to be seen in the official launch. So with that, we just got 10 summon tickets. Let's do more summons. How much more? 17? Damn, okay. Here we go. We're actually very close to guaranteeing us Byakuya here. Unfortunately, still no SSR animation. That sucks. Alright, let's just skip through it. We got Nemu. That's new. We'll take it. Again, Nemu's an example of a character that I think the artwork is a bit different here compared to what you just got in the summons animation screen. So I think that is actually going to change in the official launch. But this is in more line with what you expect with the Blood War style. But yeah, that's pretty much me all out to summons right now for the time being. So we're going to continue selling up some summon tickets, maybe for a final summon video before the beta does end in like 3 days time, I believe. Right now, I'm liking what I am seeing. The game definitely does feel a lot more complete. There's definitely a few more things they need to change before the game does launch this time next month. But of course, as expected, compared to the last beta test that we have been having over the last year, the game definitely does feel a lot more complete now. I've liked a lot of the changes they made this time when compared to the previous beta test that we did have. So I'm hoping for a smooth launch. I'm hoping for the game to do well. And of course, with that, we'll be covering on the channel. So make sure you are subscribed for the launch of Bleach Soul Resonance. Let me know what you guys think about it. Comments below. Are you currently playing the beta test? What do you think about it? I'll see you guys next time. Take care and peace.